All right, this is lesson 3, radicals and fractional exponents is the topic. And so today we're going to be learning about how to convert. Convert between radicals and fractional exponents. There's a relationship between them, radicals and fractional exponents. So the relationship is, up until now, we've learned that, in all the math classes, like this is the square root sign, right? Do you all know square root, right? Square root of 4 is 2, right? Right. And we know it's a square root sign because there's a couple things here. We have this number on the inside. This is called your radicand. And then the number here is called your index, okay? There's no number there right now. So what number do we assume is there? No, not 1. It's actually 2. Okay, we assume there's a 2 there in this example. Okay, we assume it's a 2 because it's a square root. Okay, so we've learned that, right? And we know the answer to this square root of 4 is 2, right? And then before, you should have learned this already. You could have a different index. We could have the cube root of 27. What that's saying is you're asking yourself, what times itself 3 times will equal to 27? What? 9 times 9 is 81. Right? 9 times 3? No, listen to the question. What times itself will equal to 27? What times itself 3 times will equal to 27? 3, right? 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 again is 27. You following me? Okay, so that's the index, okay? Today we're not focusing on simplifying. We're going to learn how to convert it. So there's a relationship between fractional exponents and radicals, okay? So let's say, again, I'm going to have the square root of 4, okay? Square root of 4, I know the index is 2, and I could put parentheses around anything in math, okay? I could put parentheses around here. It doesn't matter. Does it change my problem at all? No. It groups itself together. And with any term, there's always an imaginary exponent. What's the exponent here that's imaginary? 1, right? So we have a 1 here, okay? So I could convert this to exponential form. I take the radicand, it becomes my base. And then I would take the number on the outside, which is the 1. That's going to be the numerator, and 2 is the index. So that's going to become my denominator. I'll just move this one here and move this one on top, okay? That's it, all right? So that's all we're doing. We took square root of 4 and we converted it to 4 to the 1/2. That's all we're going to do, and we're going to do that backwards too. Okay? This is equivalent to this. This and this means the same thing. You follow me? Okay? So even last night's homework, you might have had 4 to the 1/2 or a to the 1/2. What that meant was square root of a, or square root of 4. All right? So here are the steps if you're watching the video, or if you don't have them, please write them down. Pause the video. I'm going to continue right now. So right now I need you to have pencils down. You're watching numbers 1 and 2, okay? So numbers 1 and 2, it says rewrite as a radical or fractional expression. Okay, rewrite as a radical or fractional expression, depending where you start. So on the first one, we have an exponential expression with a fractional exponent. So we have k as our base, and we have 3/4 as our exponent. So k is our base, so if k is my base, I'm going to put k as my radicand now. So I'm going to write new problem, I'm going to put k in there, and this is put a square root sign over it. And then we're going to put a couple parentheses around the whole thing. All right? The number on the top, the 3, goes on the outside. It stays as the exponent on the outside. And then the 4 becomes our index. And that's it. Okay? And that's your answer. Basically, it's going to be 4 index, or that's the index, or the 4th root of k, with parentheses all raised to the 3rd power. Okay, that's your final answer. All right, so what did I just do? First thing I did is I looked at the directions, of course. I knew I had to rewrite this exponential term as a radical term. So I took k, put it into its own radical sign. Took the 4, put it as the index. The 3 goes on the outside of the 2 parentheses. Okay, and I rewrote it nicely here. Okay, well, after we do number 2, we're going to go backwards now. One more time, eyes up here. Okay, number 2, we got 6r. 6r is going to be my radicand, so we want to make sure that's my base, so I'm going to start with writing 6r. Okay, and we're going to have a exponent that's fractional, so we have a numerator. The outside number is always my numerator, so this could be 5. And my index here is 3, so I'm going to put that as my denominator. And bam, I am done. Okay, I just made the equivalent form. So this is pretty easy, right? We're not evaluating. I'm just rewriting it. That's all today's goal is. Okay, pretty easy, right? Okay, so what I'd like you to do is turn your neighbor. Today's ones will tell the twos. Ones will talk to the twos about how to do number 1, and twos will tell the ones about number 2. Okay, I'll give you a minute to talk. Ready, set, talk. On number 3, we're starting off with A as our base. So let's put that inside its own radical sign, okay? And you'll always, we're doing this one together, okay? We're always putting parentheses around the outside of it. Okay, what's my numerator on my exponent? 1. So 1's going to go up on the top here. And denominator is my index, right? 2, right? That's your answer, okay? That's how you do any of them. So let me see your boards, and I want to make sure you did it correctly, okay? You just copied what I did, okay? So we did it together. Nice, you look like paper. Yeah, mate. So let me see this. Make sure your 2 looks a little smaller, because that looks like a coefficient to me. We don't want that. Oh, no, it's good. Okay, cool. Next one. Oh, one more thing. Number 3. By the way, look up here. On number 3, you know, that 1 is kind of redundant, and so is the 2, right? What's the assumed index always? 2, right? And what's the assumed exponent always? 1. Anything to the 1 power is just itself. So the best answer is just square root of A, okay? But I wanted you to see the process on number 3. Okay? And basically this is the same as this. Same number, just different form. 4, go. Remember, you could zoom in on your whiteboards to make it easier to write. Some of you are writing real small. You could zoom in and then write bigger, okay? (6n) square root sign, 2 parentheses, numerator on the outside, denominator on the inside. Okay, number 5. Number 5. This one's going backwards. Go. So that was the answer for the last one, okay? That was the end of that lesson.